Hi, Michael Buffer here. Let's get ready for Boxing Arabia.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. متابعين بوكسينج ارابيا، اليوم معنا بطل عالم مميز جدا جدا جدا، كلكم تعرفوه. بطل 2 تايمز مرتين بالوزن السوبر المتوسط والثقيل الخفيف. معنا كمان عامر عبد الله، وورلد شامبيون كيك بوكسر، بطل الدبليو كي اي للكروزر ويت، وكمان هو جزء من بادو جاك بروموشنز. حيكونوا معنا هن الاثنين، وراح يكون حوار مثل ما عم نعمله بالعاده، انه حيكون حوار مفتوح ومجرد سهرة عم نحكي فيها عن الملاكمة وعن كل شيء. عامر السلام عليكم. شامب بادو جاك السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
Badu, what I wanted to know from you is how were you introduced to boxing, and when did you decide to become a boxer? What was it that made you want to become a boxer?
So it was probably when I was around 17 years old. A friend of mine, childhood friend, he brought me to the boxing gym. I fell in love with boxing ever since that day, and I've been training hard non-stop since that day. That was in 2000 or 2001. Yeah.
2001. Was that in Sweden?
In Sweden, yeah. So I'm born and raised in Sweden.
I love Sweden, man. I've been to a lot of cities there, and I love it. I go there almost every year. I love it. Yeah.
We got a lot of Arabs there.
Yeah, especially Syrians. That's where I'm from,
yeah.
actually. Yeah. So you started training in 2000, 2001. But what made you decide that you want to become a boxer? Like, did you have a dream, or were you influenced by some boxers that you have watched from the generations before?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a fan of boxing, and I was a big fan of Mike Tyson. Back in the '90s, I'm still a fan of him. Roy Jones and everything. So yeah, I always liked boxing, and I wanted to try. And my trainer, he said, "You got some talent. Why not continue?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." So yeah, I've been dedicated since that day, and yeah, I went pretty far.
Speaking of Mike Tyson, what do you think about the whole buzz about his comeback?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a real comeback or just exhibition fight.
No, it's just an exhibition, of course. I don't think he's in a great shape. I don't think he would be stepping into an actual pro fight. I think it's exhibition, and he announced that. But have you seen the videos and the footages of him training? Yeah. The speed is still there. It seems like the power is still there. It's very interesting,
He looks good. He looks really good, and I'm very excited for that. I'll definitely tune in. Yeah, but like I said, the mitts they don't hit back, so we'll see what happens in the real fight. But anybody that get touched with Mike Tyson's right hand or left hook, good night. So I don't know how the rules work in exhibition fight, if you can knock the other guy out or not, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I remember he had one exhibition fight right after his retirement, but I can't remember if there was any knockouts or if there are any rules or anything. I need to revisit that. Okay, so I was doing some research yesterday, and you have participated in the Olympics, right? But you represented Gambia because you're originally from there, right?
My dad is from Gambia, and my mom is from Sweden, so I'm mixed. So yeah, I represented Gambia in the Olympics. I represented Sweden my whole amateur career, except from the Olympics. So I wanted to make my dad proud and wanted to represent my other country as well. So in the Olympics, I represented Gambia.
So when you turned pro, you moved to the US, or did you start as a pro in Sweden?
I started as a pro in Sweden, actually. So I had my first, I think, 4 or 5 fights in Sweden. Also, I had 2 fights in Finland, which is the country next door. Yep. So in my 3rd fight, I had Shannon Briggs, the former heavyweight champion. He was invited to that event, and he really liked me. We became good friends. So he just started a promotional company, so I signed with him. I moved into his house, excuse me, in Miami actually. So I lived there for a couple of months, trained there. Then his promotional company didn't really work out. His partner and Shannon and his partner, they became enemies or something happened, business related. So they released all the fighters. But then I moved to Las Vegas, and I signed with Lou DiBella and Warriors Boxing first, and then I met Floyd.
Right. We wanted to ask you also about that. How did you land on Money Team, like on Mayweather Promotions?
So I had a little bad experience with a boxing manager back then that took advantage of me and stuff. And I went to Floyd's gym and I sparred Andre Durrell. I beat his brother later for the world title, but I sparred him, and then Floyd saw me. I got to know him, and he really liked my style. And a couple of months later, he went to a little vacation, and then when he came back, he asked me if how can he sign me? I said, I'm already signed with Lou DiBella, but he said, I'll buy you out your contract Monday. And
okay,
the rest.
That's great. Speaking of Shannon Briggs, عامر, في فيديو طلع لك وانت عم تتخانق انت وشانن. تخبرنا شوي عنه للفيديو هذا.
والله طلع شوف احنا كنا it was the KSI Logan Paul fight.
Exactly.
وكنا على فكرة قبلها تقريبا شهرين كنا عند بادو. We were all at Badu's house. واحنا نتعشى كلنا مع بعض، انا وعائلتي وبادو وعائلته وشانن. فكانت يعني عادي، يعني الوضع كان it was very cool, very relaxed. بعدين لما اجت الفايت تعرف شانن بعض مرات بيكون هيك يعني تفكيره
Let's go champ.
Yeah, exactly. يعني it was a fight. وهو for some reason ما تذكرني. when Badu was talking to him, he didn't recognize or he didn't remember for whatever reason. But regardless of what it was, it was an exchange back and forth. It happens. It's the fight game. There's not a big. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
It's not a big issue. Little words back and forth, a little shoving match back and forth, and it was what it is. And right after the fight was over, بعد المباراة أجا عبطنا وتأسف everything was fine.
Oh, I don't like.
This is boxing. This is boxing.
Right.
It's a love-hate relationship. And the one day you could be sitting at dinner having dinner with your families, or the next day you're on opposite sides of the sword. يعني هاي حلوة في البوxing. And it's a combat sport at all times, and you never know when it's coming.
Nice. I remember. أنا بتذكر لما شفت الفيديو فكركم أول شيء عم تمزحوا، يعني إنه أنتم ضابطينه مع بعض. عرفت إنه from what I know is that you guys are on good terms. So I thought إنه يعني مثل staged, you know. بعدين لما بتطلع بالفيديو it cannot be staged like that.
No, it wasn't.
تمام. عامر كمان إذا أنت بتخبرنا كيف احترفت وكيف يعني امتى بديت يعني امتى قررت انه بدك تصير بالكومبات سبورت والكيك بوكسينج، وامتى اخذت الموضوع سيريسلي وقلبت برو. خبرنا شوي كمان. لانه نحن بنغطي بوكسينج بس طبعا نحن فخورين بكل عربي عنده اي انجاز باي كومبات سبورت.
Thank you brother, I appreciate that.
حبيبي.
يعني انا بلشت وانا كان عمري 8 سنين. الوالد actually حطني سجلني في كاراتي، وكنت انا يعني I was like no I don't want to go. فحكى لازم تعرف كيف تدافع عن حالك.
هي وين بس باليو اس ولا بالاردن؟
لا في اليو اس. انا مولود في نيويورك.
انت مواليد نيويورك. اوكي.
yeah. فانا I was born and raised يعني in New York in the Bronx. وقعدت 35 سنه في نيويورك قبل ما جيت على لاس فيغاس.
ما شاء الله. لانه عندنا نحن بالعالم العربي كاراتيه هي يعني اول شيء الاهل بياخذوا اولادهم بيحطوهم بالكاراتيه.
Yeah, of course.
لا بوكسينج لا كيك بوكس ولا شيء، كاراتيه. That's why I'm asking you يعني.
Yeah, no, يعني he made me go into karate. I started there. والحمد لله كنت على المنتخب الامريكي. مثلنا امريكا في اليابان في الجونيور اولمبيكس. طلع لي gold medal in the junior olympics. فيعني عرفت انه انا I loved fighting. والمشكله انه الكاراتيه يعني ما كانت full contact. كانت a lot of it was point sparring. and I took the next level. boxing كانت it was always يعني my favorite sport. فكنت بدي اعمل إشي boxing related بس برضه استخدم اجري some of the kicks. For the closest thing كانت kickboxing. فانا طبعا انا from the old school kickboxing اللي they kick from the waist up يعني actual boxing with kicks above the waist. الموي تاي يعني ضربت فيها شوي والكي 1 I did a little bit of that بس أكتر شيء حبيتها the old style full contact kickboxing اللي هي boxing with kicks. والحمد لله يعني as an amateur كنت على المنتخب الأردني actually قعدت سنتين في الأردن ودرست في الأردن سنتين بعد ما أهلي تقاعدوا في أمريكا قعدنا في الأردن فأنا رجعت معهم بعد الهاي سكول وقعدت سنتين في الأردن لعبت مع المنتخب الأردني كان أول منتخب أردني للكيك بوكسينج فبعدين الحمد لله رجعت على أمريكا رجعت على نيويورك وكملت my amateur career كنت the North American light heavyweight champion and وبعدين I turned pro. My first pro fight كانت October 21st in 2000. Badu was 3 years old at that time.
So you're older than Badu, is that what you're saying?
I'm like his grandfather, yeah.
Yeah, he's born in the 50s, right?
Mashallah, mashallah.
Yeah.
All right, I want to do this, but I don't know how I'm going to do this. So this is the first time we interview in English, like on a video conference. I've done it with Joshua and Andy Ruiz and Canelo, but it was face to face. So so this is just going without preparation, without anything. So what I wanted to ask to both of you is that, especially that Badu now is in Dubai, or he has a foundation in Dubai. A lot of our followers in the Arab world in specific, those who live in the Middle East, they're kind of let down by how there is no opportunity for people who want to turn pro or even to box properly and to become amateur boxers or join the Olympics, etc. What are your thoughts on that? How do you think we can enhance the situation in the Middle East when it comes to this? That question is for both of you. So whoever would like to start and then the second one would follow would be great.
Camp, you want to take the lead on this? Do you want me to start?
You can start.
Okay. So I think that the biggest problem أكبر مشكلة عندنا إحنا في العالم العربي يعني في الشرق الأوسط إنه the biggest problem that we face is the lack of coaching and the lack of leveling up. Well, let me tell you what that means. We have some great coaches. يعني ما شاء الله عندنا مدربين that are amazing. And قعدت فترة إنه I was in the process of almost running the Jordanian national boxing team. My plan for that was a lot more international exposure. فالمشكلة تبعتنا إنه our fighters don't have international exposure. Or the only way that you can level up is if you fight people or train with people better than you.
Better than you.
We all fight each other. We all stay at نفس المستوى. فكيف بدنا نترفع وكيف بدنا يعني able to increase our skills unless you're in a room, you're in a gym, or you're in a fight with somebody better than you. Well, that's what we lack. وعشان تعرف there's a lot of restrictions إنه أغلب الشباب بيقدرش يسافروا, whether it's يعني من financial reasons or visa issues or whatever it may be. فصعب إنهم. فأنا my plan was to actually bring in outside teams, outside clubs, outside international clubs, إنه يجوا على الجيمز, يجوا على المنتخب ويلعبوا معهم ويحسنوهم. يعني كل واحد يعني يترفع from the outside exposure. That's what we lack. That's all we lack.
هلا نحن عملنا فيديو مع زهير القحطاني سعودي بوكسر بس احترف بلندن. عملنا فيديو مع محمد بقداش السوري كمان احترف بجرماني. احمد البيالي كمان احترف بيو اس. ما في غير الوحيد اللي احترف ببلده من البلدان العربيه كان محمد الربيعي المغربي, لانه المغرب فيها اهتمام بالكومبات سبورت ان جنرال. بس بتحس انه بالخليج العربي بدول الشام قليل ما تلاقي فيه تيرنينج برو. يعني مش بس السكيلز هي المشكله انه نحن اذا توفر محل بيدرب بروبر بوكسينج جيم منه للفتنس, it's mainly for fitness here. ما في اي طريقه نعلم فيها الناس انه how to spar properly, how to turn pro, how to go to the Olympics, etc. فبتمنى بيوم من الايام تنحل هي المشكله, وقريب جدا, لانه مثل ما انك شايف البوكسينج بالعالم العربي اللي حنجي نحكي فيه ان دبث يعني, بس في يعني صاير في هلا اقبال عليه اكثر من قبل بكثير.
Yeah, فهلا يعني ما شاء الله خاطر يعني السعوديه عاد بتحط a lot of money انه يجيبوا some big fights. هلا طلع لما تروح على نفرض احنا هلا في لاس فيغاس، لما تروح على المايوذر boxing gym, when you walk inside of the Mayweather boxing gym, يعني you have everything from people that are just getting started, or you can spar with guys like Badu Jack. طبعا not anybody can spar with them, but I'm just saying يعني the people that you can see in there. Badu Jack, you have the guys يعني حتى the average guys like Jay Leon Love, you have the guys that the Caleb Plant, يعني you have world champions that are there على مستوى عالمي. ف يعني غصب عنك غير يترفع your level عشان you see them, you watch them. You have coaches like Floyd Mayweather Sr., Jeff Mayweather. You have the best coaches in the world that are, everybody is there. So that's why everybody ايش كلهم بيجوا بيعملوا gravitate وين على لاس فيغاس عشان قد ما في ابطال عالم اللي بيقدروا يعني يترفعوا هم من ناحيه مستويات، من ناحيه يعني skill set، من ناحيه معلومات، everything. You can only way you can get better is if you level up with somebody else.
أكيد. Badu, what do you have to say about that from your perspective, like from you visiting the Middle East and Dubai? Probably in Dubai there is one proper gym that was a boxing club that I really loved and I was very impressed to see, which was Round 10 Boxing. I think that's a proper boxing gym. That's how a gym should be. Apart from that, what is your input on this, like from your observation?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to touch on what Amr said. So when I was, amateur, when I fought for Sweden, how I got better was, we was fighting internationally. So I have 150 amateur fights. At least 100 of them was international. So yeah, I went all over the world, because Sweden is not a big boxing country. So we have to go all over the world. And yeah, that's how I got better. So yeah, that's very, very important for an amateur career. But yeah, speaking of Dubai, it looks like the interest in boxing is getting bigger. And yeah, Round 10 doing a great job. They have another gym right next door. I forgot what, Real Boxing, I think. So yeah, it just we just need more coaches, more events, and yeah, they need to travel internationally, and hopefully we can help and build professional boxing, since we're not focusing on amateur boxing anymore. But yeah, more gyms, everything, more exposure on TV, anything that can help boxing, better equipment, anything is going to help the sport, I believe.
Absolutely. So apart from being promotions and like being available in Dubai, do you have a plan to, let's say, open a boxing academy or like a boxing school or like boxing clubs, etc. in the Middle East? Do you see potential for that? Do you have that in your plan?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would be a dream. Actually, it don't have to only be in Dubai. It could be in Africa, where I'm from too. But yeah, absolutely. It would be like a chain, like put it everywhere. That would be great, and that would definitely help boxing grow in the Middle East and Africa.
Champ, I want to talk to you about some of your fights. My question was like, there are a few fights that I have listed here that when we watch, we see you as the winner clearly.
Yeah.
But it reoccurs with you in specific that it's crazy, that the decision doesn't do you just.
Yeah.
What happens? Like, how can you talk to us about this?
It depends on what fight you want to start with, for example. But
there is Berryban, there's the Gale, there's Stevenson, all of them. Like, I mean, even the latest one, the one with Pascal, that was complete BS, So I know it's not going to feel okay for you, definitely not. But like, if you could share some thoughts, do you think it's corruption in boxing, or do you think it just looking at the fight and scoring it from different perspectives what it would make sense? Or I don't know, how do you look at that?
I mean, it's I think it's a little bit of everything. So it's a little bit of corruption. Yeah, I believe I won those fights. I don't know if people, they don't like me because I'm Muslim, or if it could be something they have against Floyd. I'm not really sure. But yeah, from now on, I cannot leave it in the hands of the judges. So now we're gonna knock everybody out, and then hopefully we don't get a draw if we knock somebody out. So yeah, I don't know. One of them was let's say the Stevenson fight, which out of all these so-called BS decisions, that will probably the closest one. So he's very explosive. He's one of the biggest punchers in boxing. So I know I had to take my time with him, let him gas out, let him shoot everything in the beginning, and then he's gonna get tired. I'm gonna break him down. I'm gonna stop him. So yeah, so I gave away a little bit too much in that fight in the beginning.
Okay.
And then after round 5 or 6, I won every round. And
right.
He caught me with a good body shot in the 10th round, I think. But I came back and whooped his ass the 11th and 12th. So I felt I won that fight. And
we feel that too.
Outlanding them with 100 punches in all the fights. But yeah, you win round by round. But since whatever happens to Adonis Stevenson in the next fight when he ended up in a coma and everything. So
right.
Yeah, I mean that fight. I have no. It's not the fighter's fault. It's the judge's fault. Even though Pascal and Digel and all those guys, of course, they maybe believe they won or they were happy with a draw, or it's not their fault that the judges gave
right
the win or the draw.
How do you think this problem can be avoided? Like I remember when Evander Holyfield visited Saudi in 2017. When he was attending the World Boxing Super Series, I asked him the same question, and he was like, he came up with 2 points. He said, first of all, maybe they should be 5 instead of 3 judges. That's 1. Yeah. 2, he said maybe if they let the older generation of boxing, the boxers, the Hall of Famers, and all of that. Let them judge the fights, let them score the fights because they understand, they've been inside the ring and they know exactly what's going on in there, that they can actually judge it better. What do you think?
I agree with that. So for example, in my last fight, so it was 3 judges. Julie Letterman, she's one of the most experienced judges. She had me winning. The other 2 was 2 guys that had never, judged any big fights. And they had him winning. So there you go. Like if you don't have experience, especially on world title fights, you should not judge big fights like that, I believe.
I mean, even sometimes when they're like a world-class judges, like Adley Bird, for example, she's done horrible things as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what it could be, but it must be improved. That's one thing that's kind of, for at least the casual fans, it's kind of it makes them like step away from the boxing scene.
Exactly. Like for example, that Julie Letterman that had me winning this fight, she had me a draw with James DeGale, so it goes both ways. So yeah, it's crazy. But to have former fighters judging the fight, that will actually be good. So most of these judges right now, they're always older, like maybe in their 60s, 70s. So they're very old. So yeah, I think something has to be done. But whatever I can do is just start faster, try to knock my opponent out. But that's easier said than done when you're up at world-class level. But
that don't leave it up to the judges kind of makes it's harder when you're like on a world-class level, definitely. I want to ask you about one fight in specific as well, the one with Marcus Brown. I wanted to ask you what went wrong in that fight before the cut. It's kind of like we didn't feel like the cut was the issue at the beginning. At the beginning, I feel like probably you weren't at 100% focus. Maybe I'm just saying. With all due respect, of course, I don't want to,
I'm not a guy that makes excuses. So yeah, it wasn't my night.
It wasn't your night.
No, I was.
Let me step in here. Hang on, let me step in, Badu. Badu is not a guy that makes excuses, but there was a lot that went wrong. Something happened in particular before the fight, with 48 hours before the fight that shouldn't have happened, and it was a mistake that happened, and it totally affected his performance. So he doesn't have to make the excuse, and it's not an excuse. But the heart of Badu showed more than anything in that fight, and having 132 stitches, 3 layers on his face, and him continuing, not only continue to fight, but pressing the action. And a guy was actually going backwards in the fight. But there was something that happened, leading up to the weigh-in and right afterwards that absolutely affected his performance. So, Badu, you don't have to make the excuse. I'll say it, and I'm not going to go into specifics about it, but there was absolutely something. Marcus Brown, we have nothing against Marcus Brown. Wish him the absolute best. It was his night, but Marcus Brown is not on a level where he can beat Badu Jack. Period.
Yeah, I mean, as you have mentioned, the performance of Badu in that fight was a complete display of heart. Us seeing him fighting with that cut, that huge cut, like a cut. I'll never forget that cut in my life. I mean, that was a horrible cut, and Badu didn't back down. I don't know, mentally, what were your thoughts in the ring, Badu? When you had the cut and you were still fighting and trying to pressure and all.
I mean, you got to be built for this. This is not anything can happen in boxing. So that was a headbutt. He came in. He's trying to grab me, hold me. The judges, the referee gave him a warning. They took points actually away from him because he was holding too much. He came in, tried to grab me, headbutted me. So yeah, it was. I thought the referee was gonna stop it, or the doctor was gonna stop the fight right away. I told my corner, don't stop it, and we kept going. So yeah, I was thinking this guy is not on my level. He's a prospect. He never fought nobody. Nobody a top fighter. He never fought nobody. So I thought I'm gonna break him down. I'm gonna get him in the later rounds. So I was just trying my best to the end, but I could barely see. So yeah, it was kind of hard. And yeah, like I said, it takes a special kind of character to fight like that.
Absolutely.
In his next fight, he fought Jean Pascal. He got cut also with headbutt, accident. But he quit right away. And that was not a cut that compared to my cut. He quit right away. I kept going. Then you can see, the difference of character in boxing.
Right, of course. That's why I said it displays the heart that you got in the ring, which is fantastic. I want you to give us a tip about handling unexpected factors in a fight like that, probably, or like a dislocated shoulder. If a fighter in that situation, what should go through his mind? How should he be prepared for such a thing? Is there such a thing as preparing for such a scenario?
No, I mean, to stay calm, believe in Allah, and He's the best planner. Keep going, and I mean, it depends on if you break your hand, a right hand, use your left hand, or it comes with experience as well. So the more experience you learn certain tricks and stuff. But yeah, no, you can't really prepare for something like that, and that's not it's not like, oh, you give me a cut in training, let's work on it. No,
of course not.
It happens, and you just gotta,
You gotta stay calm and focused.
Yeah,
don't panic.
Focused. Listen
Believe
to
in yourself.
If the team really want to stop the fight, or if you break your foot or whatever, your eye you can't see at all. Sometimes the best thing is probably to stop it, but if you decide not to, then you got to keep going.
Before we move into the charity and the foundations and all that, I have to ask you about your top 10 pound for pound list.
The fighters that are active today.
Yeah.
Let's say Terence Crawford.
Nice. That's my number one.
Yeah. Canelo, maybe not in a specific order. It's pound for pound is just about opinion. It's not a real list.
Sure.
Say Terence Crawford, Canelo, Lomachenko, Earl Spence, Tyson Fury. Who else we got? Oh, this Japanese fighter, little guy.
No way.
Yeah, I like him. I love him. I love the way he fights.
He's a genius, yeah.
Yeah. Top 5.
What about Pacquiao?
Pacquiao he still got it.
Pacquiao's still going hard, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Still going hard. What about Alexander Usyk?
Yeah, he's good. I fought him in the amateurs. Like,
did you?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, he's very good. Yeah, but he now he's a heavyweight, so we don't know. He gotta test
right. He
himself.
has to prove himself in the heavyweight now. Yeah.
Earl Spence.
Yeah, I already
Errol
said
Spence.
Earl Spence.
I hope he gets back from the accident fine. I have doubts about that, but I don't think. I just hope that he comes back as he used to be, Errol Spence. I feel like if you have a car accident of that kind, and you were like not training for the longest time ever, I'm not sure if you can like come back to the same qualities you had. What do you think?
I think as long as he stay focused, hopefully that was a wake-up call for him. You know, stay away from those friends that put him in that position or that didn't help him. You know, and yeah, just stay focused. I always been a big fan of Errol Spence, the way he boxed, and yeah, he just got to stay focused, stay away from the wrong people, and dedicate himself 100% to boxing. Yeah, he's going to be I mean, he is already a star, but like a superstar, like, you know, on the highest level in boxing.
Right. Amr, do you have a list or shall we move on?
Badu Jack.
Nice. I like that list.
That's my top
I like
three.
that. I like that.
No
I
other
like that.
fighter in boxing has fought 8 back-to-back world champions. Yeah, nobody has. He's the most underrated guy in the sport. MashaAllah,
He is underrated.
He doesn't get soft touches. Like these guys all have, you know, easy B-level fights that they can have in between. Badu doesn't. He keeps going back-to-back world champion fights. Alhamdulillah, that's why that's who he is. He doesn't want it any other way. But mashallah, we have a Muslim champion that is arguably one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world today. Alhamdulillah, everybody should get behind this champion.
Absolutely. Champ, you fought in 2 classes, right? The super middleweight and the light heavy.
Yeah.
Which one did you feel more comfortable at? Like, which one do you like the most, or like which one do you prefer in fighting in?
I like the heavyweight division. That I feel more comfortable. Heavyweight. No, yeah, of course, light heavyweight feels better than super middleweight. So yeah. Who knows? One day, hopefully I can be a 3-division world champion. I'll go to cruiserweight also. So.
Nice. Cruiserweight is nice as well. What are your next moves? Like, are you gonna have a rematch with Pascal? What's the next move? What's the next fight?
That's what I'm hoping for, a rematch with John Pascal. Everybody loved that fight. 78% of everybody watched the fight, thought I won the fight, so we got to run it back. So hopefully that can happen next, and after that we'll see what happens, if we can make it happen.
Yeah, that would be great to watch again. But to get the decision right this time. I want to talk about your charity and about the work that you do. If you can tell us a little bit about what motivated you to do that, where do you plan to move forward with on this foundation? Are there certain organizations that you collaborate with on this work, or is it like solely your foundation? Could you tell us a little bit about that, about the charity?
Yeah, so right now, actually, we start working with the Spot Project in Gambia, the UK-based charity company that take care of orphans in Gambia. So, Ahmed, do you want to touch more on how we started everything?
Yeah, of course. Fadi, jointeamjack.com will give you the full initiatives of what we're doing. But the premise of this thing was when Badu was doing a lot of charity work before him and I got together and I started representing him.
Nice.
And once I started getting involved, I said, yeah, mashallah, you do so much good work. Why wouldn't you start an organization? And he said, I don't want to really publicize all of the zakah and all of the sadaqah that I give. And what it will actually do, and it'll help people, and it'll help these causes for people to donate to the charity. So where if you're going to give X amount, you can have X amount times 20 or 50 or 100 for everybody that can join the initiative. So
صحيح.
Badu's soft spot, of course, is children. Alhamdulillah, he has 2 beautiful children of his own, and himself. Refugee children, orphans is really where he started. So we started the Badu Jack Foundation, and the slogan is to give children across the globe a fighting chance in life. Alhamdulillah, we started في المخيمات البقعة, مخيمات الزعتري, that's helped the Syrian refugees, the Palestinian refugees.
جزاكم الله خير. Yes.
وإياك جزاك الله خير. And then alhamdulillah, we started we did the Badu Jack Education Center, where children they can't afford to go to schools, or they can't have the transportation because of their handicap or whatever it may be. We started an education center there for one of the refugee camps from Khayyamat, and we do that. Initially, we started with a nutrition program. Well, that's what we're in the process of ramping up into, where we noticed in the 2 out of every or 3 out of every 5 children have severe diseases in those refugee camps, and up to death, عشان a lack of nutrition. تصور سبحان الله إنه just clean water or clean food they don't have. We're starting that initiative of alhamdulillah, the goal is to start feeding these refugee children, the orphans in the refugee camps, and we start growing that campaign. طبعا, of course, helping the Spot project in Gambia with orphans. That was what we did during Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, over 600 families we fed. It's a great initiative, but alhamdulillah, طبعا, it all starts and ends with Badu and his initiative to do it, and he put his money into it. Alhamdulillah, the fundraising is going to pick back up now. We brought out some more team members so that we could start growing this and building it and taking the next step. But jointeamjack.com is the website.
Teamjack.com. Definitely we'll visit it. I'll be part of it proudly, أكيد إن شاء الله. And I hope our followers as well. وجزاكم الله خير ويعطيكم العافية. This is a very beautiful initiative, like it shows how much he's a champion inside the ring and outside the ring. Yeah, and that's what makes a champion very special,
I always say that Badu is the people's champion. He shows the heart and grit inside of the ring, and he shows that the responsibility of being a champion outside of the ring, and giving back to the communities. And it's not limited to race, religion, ethnicity. He helps anybody that we possibly can, on one step at a time.
Yeah, of course.
So and all the proceeds, we don't have administrative costs. 100% of the funds that come in go to helping these children.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. That's very, very nice, and very proud of you guys. I hear that and I'm very happy. I think I've seen pictures of you and Badu in Amman, I think, or in Jordan, arriving in Jordan or something like that. Can you tell us like a funny story that happened with Badu when he visited Jordan for the first time, or like?
Oh man, there's a ton of them. Let me think of.
I like when someone visits the Middle East for the first time. It's kind of, it's a cool experience. It makes it, a lot of things happen.
Remember that wedding with the guy that wanted to?
I got a couple of good ones. But here's one. فرحنا to as soon as we got there, بس ما شاء الله الشعب الأردني they welcomed us with open arms. From the airport we went to a big dessert place where they had lots of desserts for us. That was how they welcomed Badu into the country. فما شاء الله الشعب الأردني هم, and their generosity was unbelievable. But one of the things, when we were sitting there, طبعا one of our PR agent there, شبلي الشطرات, was one of the oldest صحفيين في البلد. He said, اسمعوا في عنا انعزمنا على عرس. We got invited to a wedding, a very traditional wedding, a very traditional wedding. It wasn't a modern wedding. Yeah, فحكوا and they'd like Badu to attend their son's wedding. طبعا it's very difficult to say no.
Yeah,
of course not. But Badu will go for a half hour or for an hour. But لما دخلنا طبعا culture is everything. So as soon as we walked in, طبعا the one of the elders there, he grabbed Badu's hand, ومسك إيده, he pulled his hands hand in hand with him. And Badu's eyes just kind of lit up, and he walked through the wedding with his hand, interlocking Badu's hand. And you could tell Badu was so uncomfortable having his hand held by another man. So he was I was like, man, that's the culture. That's what you got to do.
But why did he grab it? Why did he grab
What's
his hand? Why did he grab his hand?
يعني that's how يعني طلع احنا يعني I don't know how it is في السعودية.
I like to walk by, to walk with him يعني
yeah, to walk
he wanted
okay, fine.
to go eat.
yeah, they grab
okay,
hands
okay.
like you're with me. Like مسك like a couple, you know, like in the US.
Sure.
So they grabbed him. He wanted to bring him. يعني he brought him right over to where big sling.
منصب yes.
يعني traditionally المناسف يعني بحطوا راس الخروف right in the middle. When Badu saw the head of the lamb right in the middle of it, like he was like there was zero chance.
Dinosaur with right.
So
wow,
that was a big culture shock for him.
Yeah, like I don't know how you guys do it, but no, man is not supposed to hold hand according to me. But whatever makes you guys happy.
I would like to thank you both for the opportunity of hosting you here. Champ, we wish you nothing but luck on your next fight. And thank you very much for bringing your interest to Dubai and to the Middle East in general. Thank you for being a champion inside and outside the ring, being a people champ. We hope to see you in Saudi as well. Like, if you could visit sometime, it would be great.
COVID-19 is over. We'll be right there. We were
Here
supposed
they
to
grab
come
your
back
hand as
right
well. Here probably they grab your hand as well and like take you to the feast. But yeah, I would love to see you here as well, champ. Same goes to you, عامر. شكرا كثير على الفرصة. بتمنى لكم كل التوفيق بكل شيء, whether in sport or outside the sport.
Allah يبارك. Thank you, Habibi.
Thank you very much.
You guys are doing an amazing job. Anjad, you're really doing an amazing job getting the boxing news to the Arab world, to the Sharq al-Awsat. You guys are pioneering this, mashallah alayk, and we support you guys fully. So anything you need from us, we're a phone call away, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Amir. Thank you very much. Alhamdulillah, we've been trying, you know, نقرب البوكسينج للعالم العربي أكثر, نشرحه بطريقة نعرف at least الشامبيونز اللي من العالم العربي اللي ما حدا بيعرف عنهم, لأنه usually when you mention Arabs in boxing, the first name to pop up is Naseem Hamid.
Naseem.
And that's not wrong, but it's also not right because there are many other Arabs in the sport, whether like they got to a world champion level or still like prospects, but there are many. And then I was wondering, like, how can we make Arabs see the timing of fights and the lack of focus on it in the Arab media is what made me want to do Boxing Arabia. It just like made me want to, I mean, a lot of people here in the Arab world don't know boxing apart from Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, or like, let's say Joshua and Wilder and Fury. But there's like a whole universe of boxers, like even better than Marvel and DC, you know? So I wanted to introduce that universe of boxing to the Arab world, and that's how Boxing Arabia came up.
No, mashallah, it's a great concept. Again, it's one thing that the Alam Arabi is lacking is boxing connection. But no, great job.
Thank you, Amir. Thank you. Champ, thank you very much again. Thank you, Amir. متابعينا إن شاء الله الأسبوع القادم بيكون معنا بوكسر ثاني وبيكون معنا إن شاء الله قصة جديدة. شكرا كثير ويعطيكم العافية.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام. وعليكم السلام, Champ. Peace.